Testing check 1 2. Oh yeah. Oh man, we already live, y'all. What's going on with it? It's that boy, your boy, Street Talk. Back with another one. Now tonight, we're gonna leave this chat open. We're gonna leave this chat open, man, so everybody could chime in on this tonight. So anybody can hop in and get with the come on. But tonight we're gonna talk about the ongoing war. We can call it a war. We're gonna talk about the ongoing war with the youth. And what's the word I'm looking for, man? I'm trying to be real careful with this situation right here. We're gonna talk about the youth, man, and basically what they doing to them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not right. You know what I mean? We let the news tell us one thing or, lead us to believe certain things when that's not really the case. And a lot of times we just not there. So tonight, we're going to take you there. We're going to put you in the middle of that situation. And just like with anything that we do, we welcome everybody to chime in, say what they going to say. Let they feelings and opinions be heard because this is a platform for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So with all of that being said, y'all, let me get ready. We're going to get off into it. It's Street Talk with Streetwatchers. Let's go. Streetwatchers. Yeah. Streetwatchers. So what's going on, y'all? We back. You know what I mean? I said I was going to do this every day. So we rolling with it. We sticking with it. I think this is 7 or 5 consecutive. But we're going to get it started, y'all. So if you've been following the page, then last summer we did a series with the youth downtown. It's called Voices of the Future. If you're not familiar, click on the page after the live, go into the playlist. We got a whole Voices of the Future playlist that you can go and check out. Now, on episode 3, we interviewed a group of young ladies, right? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe it was 7. Don't quote me. Could be 6, could be 7. Might be 8, but it was a group of young ladies, okay? If you look at the video, you know what I mean? And even the feedback that we was getting then, everybody was talking about, these kids this, these kids that. And it was like, well, have you went down there? Have you talked to them? Have you did this? Have you did that? And we went down there and we interviewed them and we gave them basically a list of questions, you know what I mean, that was dealing with the city. Because the city said they was out of control, they was wild, they was turning up downtown, they was reckless, they was this, that was that. So we went down there to go see. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it was the youth. You know what I mean? We had law enforcement that was doing some crazy things. Now, when we dealing with youth, we already know all it take is to talk. I ain't even trying to hear all of the backwardsness. These kids this, these kids that, these kids wicked, these kids. No, they're not. Had I not had nobody stand on my back, I probably would have been wicked too. Probably wouldn't even be here to talk to y'all right now because I would have ended up doing something that I didn't have no business doing. But I had somebody on my back. So, those young ladies that was down there, right? I'm gonna click a picture on the screen right here. This is Coriana. Coriana is in episode 3 of Voices of the Future. That's her on the right. But that's also her on the left, graduating from the Air Force or going through, her Air Force training. I don't know if she's actually graduated, but That's her on the left going through her training to be an EMT. A EMT. Now, St. Louis is kind of, they short on EMTs. You know what I mean? I'm sure they would need somebody to, go get some training, come back and, want to work in the city, right? But if it's the youth that we talking about, because the youth are the future, correct? So if it's the youth that we talking about, then everything that was done to them last summer, and I'm really kind of appalled too. I got to say this because it just needs to be said. And I don't care who get mad. But we have a black female mayor who happens to be a mother. And she's allowing this to happen to our young black youth, period. Because what I saw came from the police chief. The police chief hand in hand with her. So at some point, it should have been some kind of conversation on, man, hey, look, these are my little young ones. Go easy on them. Let's do this. Let's do that. But that's the purpose of this video today. Because I attempted to talk to Tashara. I attempted to talk to Tracy. They didn't want to talk because they don't like my questions. Of course. I'm going to give it to you raw. I'm not 245. I'm not coming in soft. I'm not coming in sweet. We're going to come in. We want to find out what's going on. But this is Coriana. You know what I mean? Now, once again, if you watch the video, you'll see another young lady on there standing next to her. This is her service picture. Now, these are friends now. You know what I mean? They was down there together. And if you go and watch the interview, this young lady right here, even after watching all of the drama that the police was doing, she was like, man, we still need the police, y'all, if it wasn't for them. But you can hear all of the apprehension because she's watching what's happening in front of her. You know what I mean? Like, look at her now. She's watching that happen. Ain't nothing really happening but law enforcement. And they, I know they'd be like, oh, he owns us. But, I mean, hey, look. We have to start doing things better. And if we can't sit down and talk about it, then once again, we'll create a platform to sit down and we'll discuss it and then get around it. Because once it's brought to light, then people know what they're looking at. But this is the youth, y'all. These are just two examples. Two examples. And I only use these two to lead into what I was leading into, but I could really go back and just all of their accomplishments. Because we got some that's writing magazines. We got the young sister who was doing the runway model. Like, she's not modeling. She's throwing these shows. She's putting these shows together at 19 years old. You know what I mean? So until we find out, if we don't know, we did an interview with a young guy who was an inspiring videographer. He was walking around with his camera. Man, I'm just looking for some content. I'm looking for some action. Well, nobody down there on no BS. And all of them was over age. All of them was over 18. But once again, like I put in the piece, police didn't get out and talk to them. They didn't get out and ask them no questions. They didn't get out and do none of that. They came through with their horns. They would blur and go home, do whatever. So now I'm saying all this to say this. During that same time period, matter of fact, before we get into that, let me get off into another little piece. So while we was down there filming, right, it was a little situation. Now, like I said, the police, they do what they do, you know what I mean, to make it rough on you. And then they set you up, and then they do all that other stuff, right? So it was a video on VOP News with the guy and the spike strips and all the rest of that other stuff. And I kept asking people, like, so nobody is questioning why or how this officer knew to be behind that light pole? Because it's the setup, right? So we actually caught the setup on camera. And we're going to get off into it right now. Oh, damn, y'all can't hear that. Let me turn that up for you. So that's the video. That's the video that was put at the end of the little piece that I just did with the Voices of the Future, right? And then I even told y'all the other day in the thing, and I think it was episode 2, the whole play with that. You know what I mean? So we seen them. They spiked 2 cars. They spiked the Mustang, then they spiked the Charger, right? Of course, being that they threw spikes from both sides of the street, we know that's 8 flat tires. They ain't going far. So we said, let's go check it out and let's go see what happened. So what do? We went around the corner because, of course, they didn't go too far. And we went and checked it out. But when we got there, it wasn't what you would... It wasn't what I was expecting. Let me say that. It wasn't what I was expecting. Because normally, in situations like that, it's a young black guy. He's out on the ground, spread eagle, writing his tongue on the ground. I mean, writing his name on the ground with his tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. But at the end of this chase, it was just a little different. Why was it a little different? Because it wasn't what you would normally expect it to be. You know what I'm saying? Now, we finna get to it. I was trying to, lead y'all up to it, but this is the end of that chase. Once again, they didn't get far. So they went from basically Kena Plaza to the Dome. They made it to the Dome. They didn't go far. Still downtown, all of that. But I'm looking at this scene and I'm like, okay, I know how they move, but where's all them undercover cars that we just seen, y'all? Because when they spiked, wasn't it 7, 8 cars that just pulled off? It's 1 car right there. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop this video though. But when you look at the video, what are we looking at? You know what I'm saying? What are we looking at? We don't see no guns drawn. We don't see nobody laid out on the ground. We don't see none of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just really making a point here because it's a little young white boy. They standing there asking him, man, why you out here? You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't this? Like they talking to him like he could be one of their children. Why guns ain't out on him? Why he ain't laid out on the ground? Why you ain't throwing him around? Why it ain't 9 officers surrounding him, telling him to stand up and sit down and go this way and go that way all at the same time? You know what I mean? Like, it's all of that's questionable. All of that's questionable. Because look at it. I mean, it's real. Like, would you believe it if I didn't show it to you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we saw the Mustang. Yeah, we saw the Charger. But, I mean, we were standing there interviewing children, and they wasn't doing this. And then we wasn't interviewing those. We wasn't interviewing all children, I guess. Because we didn't see him. He wasn't out there amongst the other children. Because I'm sure we would have interviewed him like, hey, come here. Let me see why you downtown. We seen why he was downtown. And we seen what he would do to get from downtown. But he didn't make it from downtown. There you go right there. But he's standing on his feet. He ain't got no shoes on. So they talking to him. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just wanted to show this, though, because that was just one of them situations where, we got to make it make sense. Because why we didn't hear about him? You know what I mean? They kept every little thing, I'm going to say a little black kid did, all over the news. Why we didn't hear nothing about him? Why we didn't hear nothing about them? Because I'm sure he wasn't the only one in the car, but where the rest of the cars at? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did y'all really do? How did y'all clear this that fast? Because ain't nobody here. Ain't nobody there. That was just something I wanted to throw out there real quick, y'all. You know what I mean? Because I said I was gonna show y'all that. Plus, it was downtown related. So let's get into the real action here. So back to these kids, like I said. And the summertime. So being that was the narrative, that these kids are bad, they can't go nowhere, they can't do nothing without it being a problem. But once again, I have children. So I know when it comes to talking to these children, you really just got to talk to them. If you're talking to them, then you know where they at. You know what they own. And I've noticed that most kids will talk to strangers, not strangers like that, but you know, they'll talk to people that they can engage with. Let me say it like that. So it was a you know, during the height of this, they this, they that, they bad, they all over the news for just doing whatever. So I kept saying, man, I don't think it's these kids. It's got to be some gatekeepers, a set of people, or somebody sitting somewhere that's making sure things stay disruptive so they can create this narrative. And normally, like, I mean, hey, we've been going every day now. So it's not like I'm making none of this up. Video is the video. So we was at Club Climax. This was during the Voices of the Future piece, right? We had talked to a promoter. Promoter was like, hey, you know, they called me, say, let's do a thing. They did the thing. So we're going to slide through. Because for me, if these was the people that was causing the problem, and they're asking you to do something, then they're probably going to create a problem for you too. That's just how I think. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, I try to move the way that I move. So we go to this club, right? Everything seems to be going okay. Kids in there, they jamming, they having fun, they enjoying themselves. Now the flyer said that this event should be from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. We got there maybe about 7:30 just to, you know, check it out. See what the lot looking like, all of the other stuff. Make sure, you know. And honestly, we didn't think it was even a party going on because very few cars in the lot. There was no one outside, no violence, there was none of that. So we go on in the club, we get in there, you know what I mean, holler at the promoter, ask him how everything going good, it's quiet, peaceful, kids kicking it, doing their dance and all that good stuff. We sit around for a minute, say, all right, let's get up out of here. So we go out on the lot. While we sitting on the lot, all of a sudden, all of the kids start coming outside. Now, this event shouldn't be over with until 9 o'clock. Now, maybe if we'd have stayed in the building for just a couple of more minutes, we probably could have heard what they told them to get them all outside, but I missed it. But nonetheless, the event shouldn't be over until 9 o'clock. It's right before 8:30 now, and they pushing all of these kids outside. So in my mind, I'm saying, what they pushing them outside for? So now everybody kind of looking because something is not right. Promoter standing out here with us. So clearly this is not a move that he made. So who made this decision to kick these kids out? You know what I mean? We don't really know, but nonetheless, they're out the building. So now what do we have? Me saying, this ain't right. What's going on? You know what I mean? Let me go get my camera. So I went and got my camera and started filming, right? And I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit, y'all, so we don't over. But this is the situation now. So just looking at the video, if you saw this, if this was just regular video and you not knowing the situation, what would you think seeing this? This may be a bunch of kids that's finna do something that they ain't got no business because they all bunched up. But all of these kids, man, I'm going to have to say are well-mannered. Now, I don't know them personally, but I do know them from, you know, just being right there. And once again, like I said, all it takes is just talking to them. Because at this point, they kicked out. Half of them don't even understand why they kicked out. They're, you know, like, all of this. They're like, what? Come on, y'all. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, I'm reliving this right now. You know what I mean? I'm going to call it trauma for me because somebody just put all of those kids in danger. You know what I mean? Just put all them kids in danger. And this ain't even it. Like, at this point, you done put them outside. in a minute or so, they gonna come outside and they gonna tell them they gotta get from in front of they building. Now, pay attention, y'all. Ain't no lights out there. We all know Hall's Ferry. Hall's Ferry is dangerous. 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. They fly up and down there. They hit you. They'll keep going. How many people been hit on Hall's Ferry, y'all? So is it really wise at this point to take 100, 150 kids and just sit them on the sidewalk? You know what I mean? Just sit them there. Because that's basically what happened here. All these kids now that still should have been indoors until 9 o'clock. Because this is a teenage party. Now, of course, we seeing a couple of them kids got cars. You know what I mean? They moving around like all of them piling up in there. But they coming from a party. Now, later on down the road, somebody going to think something else because you see 7 kids in a car and, you don't know their situation. So, of course, you're going to judge. But they up to no good. But none of these kids was, I'm going to say, up to no good. Not up to, what you get what I'm saying. All these kids was on the up and up. Let me say that. Stop trying to use all these crazy words. But all them kids was on the up and up. You know what I mean? Now, once again, I think this is where the security guard finna come out and tell everybody they got to get off the lot now. Now we got to get off the lot. It's really just now 8:30, y'all. Once again. Yeah, he telling them to leave. The party should have been over with at 9. You know what I mean? So at this point, this is what I'm saying about, what we do in the community and why it should be important that everybody step up in the community, because our little group now is realizing it's a situation. It's a situation going on. You know what I mean? Like, it is a real situation going on right now. You just took 100 kids, threw them outside, and that wasn't the plan. Because as we work through this video, you'll see, what I'm saying about the destruction that they're trying to create for our kids. If you put them in a situation like that, what do you think they're going to do? You know what I'm saying? All of them kids out there really was confused because they didn't understand why they was outside. They came to a party. Now they're thrust into a situation because you're told to go outside. You're told get away from the building. You're told go on the other side of the barriers. All of these kids was dropped off. All of these kids was expecting rides to come back. But these parents that's going to be these rides are expecting these kids to be in this building having fun until 9 o'clock. Now, at this point, we all sitting here trying to brainstorm on, man, how do we get all these kids back over here? How do we really round them up? How do we get them in a zone where it's safe? At this point, they all outside, so you can't necessarily say you keeping them safe because they all standing in the middle of a lot that is open season right now, if that was the case. But those kids didn't have a choice in that matter. They was kicked out the building. They was told to get away from this front door. They was told to get off of this lot. You see them all making their way up to Hall's Ferry. You know what I mean? And there's a lot more kids out there, too. I'm moving around, and it's only one camera at this point that's on because I just had to document this situation because I couldn't believe it was happening. I really couldn't believe it was happening. All of them cars that's coming and going that y'all see right there, those are parents who pulled up early. Let me pull up, doing what they supposed to do. Because I be hearing it. Parents ain't parenting, adults ain't adulting, different things like that. But like I tell people, it's not everybody. You know what I mean? Like we could tell, who ain't right. But that's really the point of putting people in certain positions because you shorthanded and I just need somebody here, but that person is not the right person for the job. When that ain't the right person for the job, don't put them there because then you have problems. This was security that kicked them out. They ain't do nothing wrong. He told them to leave. Now, I don't know who told him to tell them to leave, but they got put out. You know what I mean? We'll move on to the next piece of video right here, but these the kids up on, I'm going to let you hear what they saying, man. Let you hear how you're really supposed to deal with the kids. Because this might have seemed like it went a little crazy, but it was just a matter of talking to them.
I feel like we could have been able to stay inside the fucking building. If we under 18.
It's what,
Like the fuck?
Say that again.
Damn.
He said if you under 18, I feel like we should have stayed in the building.
Been able to stay in the building. If it's a teenage ass party and you
right, and y'all got us out here in the street.
Like fuck is y'all doing?
Makes no sense.
Okay, bitch, I got little ass kids out in the street.
Hold on.
I'm fried as fuck.
Try it again, right? Now you just said you pushed little kids out the building and then said bitch, motherfucker, and shit all
right.
in the same sentence.
You right, my bad.
Okay,
So,
I'ma say it again.
You right.
Now you see that? You see that? That's what I'm saying about talking to him. You know what I mean? Now that might have seemed disrespectful, but these are the kids being in the attitude. You know what I mean? That vibe that they was put in. They was in there kicking it. They don't even understand why they got put out. You know what I mean? I looked at what she said as being what it is. Now, yeah, okay, they're teenagers. They shouldn't be using that type of language, but they know it. So, of course, in these type of situations, when they out and about, they're going to express themselves. But then it was just simple to turn around and say this to her. Make it make sense for us.
Okay, so this is a teenage party. 14 to 18. Most of the people, not all of them, but most of the people here are under 18. I feel like y'all should have let us stay inside of the building. Y'all just kicking minors out to go into the middle of the street.
Got us running in
don't know where we going.
Running back
they
and
running
forth,
through the street.
That's dangerous.
What if we would have got kidnapped? What if we would have got hit by a car? Like, what if something would have happened? Like, that's not even okay. That's disrespectful. I'm finna go call my mom about this.
Yeah.
You hear me?
The news ain't gonna do nothing about it.
And she kind of joking just a little bit, but I mean, she's serious. Because at this point, you got to look at it, y'all. How many people, and I don't know, I ain't even look at the date to just throw the date out there. But if you'd have been up and down Hall's Ferry, just tell me what you would have done if you drove down Hall's Ferry and you seen 100 kids just standing in the middle of the street, or they wasn't even in the middle of the street. They was on the sidewalk. Most of them were being most of them were being respectful. We had, I think, 2 that was being disrespectful, but I think they was trying to kind of get the crowd roused up. But, I mean, them kids wasn't even on it. Because them 2 little dudes just disappeared. I don't know where they went. They wasn't even out there no more. When they plan didn't work, they moved on. And this is what I'm saying really about, the adults at this point doing a little adulting. And just talk to the youth, man. Talk to them. You know what I mean? Talk to them. Most of them got dreams and aspirations. But if your approach is sideways, they quick to return it all the way upside down. And we gotta know that. We gotta understand that. We gotta recognize that. But we stood out there with them kids. We kept them straight. Shout out to Voice of Cam, you know what I mean, from VOP. He was out there. Shout to Renzo. You know what I mean? Renzo was out there. Shout to Peter, and Peter whole little crew. Like, everybody stayed out there and made sure those kids got in them cars. Because for the parents who came up there that day and did not know what was going on, this is what happened. They put them out early and sat them on the curb. Those kids had their situation been handled the way it was supposed to be handled. The club let these kids stay till 9 o'clock. It wouldn't have been an issue because they got out there right at 8:30. By 9:15, most of them kids was gone. When I say most of them, it was 5 kids out there at 9:15. 3 of them was waiting on a particular ride. And they ride had caught a flat or something. They was dealing with a backup, but they was still on the way. And they got there really right around 9:30. When those 3 got in the car, by then, we was just standing out there with the 2 little dudes. Now, they didn't really have a ride. They didn't tell us they didn't have a ride at first. And we wasn't really pressing them because, once again, we was just standing out here making sure all of these kids got what they were supposed to get. So we down to the last 2 now. We joking, laughing, playing. And I'm going to play this too, little man. Hopefully, I'm going to tag you in it after, man. But he wanted this video so bad because, once again, like I said, it's just being out there. You know what I mean? And I would say being a mentor. You know what I mean? If you want to call it that, being a mentor. We wasn't necessarily in a mentoring role right there, but we was out here trying to make sure these youth get in and get home safe at that point. Because I'm glad I didn't leave. Because I'd have been devastated to have left and then heard something happening. Like, damn, man, we was just there. But we kicked, you know. I'm going to play this little man because he wanted to flame me up. And I let him. And I told him I was going to earn it. So at this point,
don't his ass look like a gangster Christian gang? Get it. Finna go to church, then back to the hood, looking ass boy. Get it. You know we eat ass gang. Look. Damn. Long shoe ass. Them motherfuckers long, daddy long shoe ass boy. No, you see that gang? Peep granddaddy.
Man, we was having fun, y'all. You know what I mean?
This shit would go bomb.
For me, I be digging it. I be digging it because
come on,
just in case we make it out the hood, you feel me?
I don't understand what people be saying, man. I mean,
we finna throw these
I know the kids ain't got nowhere to go. I know they ain't got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? So the whole goal is really kind of giving them something to think about because we're not even giving them nothing to think about. Especially when they got to go through situations like this. Because when you're going through situations like this, what do you think they thinking? Especially when you got enough of them saying don't nobody care about it.
I'ma tell y'all
all it takes is an adult to not do nothing to show them that they care. And we done just justified it for them.
Something to give you an advantage for this shit that we talking now, because I could literally take both of y'all down right now, and y'all would have been like, how this little nigga really do that? But you got to be able to let people talk that shit, and then when they, you know what I'm saying?
Because little man kept challenging me to a fight. Had he been 18, we probably would have sparred just a little bit. But he was still a teenager, so we couldn't do that. So it was more or less just letting them know, hey, man, y'all got to learn a skill, though. You know what I'm saying? That way you ain't got to be out here shooting. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to fight, man. You know what I mean? Now, everybody is not going to want to fight. But you probably will get a whole lot of respect because if you whooped his ass and then he came back and killed you because he couldn't take that ass whooping, best believe they going to eat his ass up for coming back to do that. Now, they're not going to bring you back, but, I mean, hell, they going to eat his ass up for it. But this is what I'm saying, though, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we stayed out there all night. And at this point, I ain't looking for no pat on the back. That's not what none of this is. All of this is to show, once again, when people be asking, you know, what do y'all do? What do y'all, and we say, man, we out here trying to make sure the community stay safe, man. We just doing what it is that we can do. Don't make no sense to go get no shirt and get a fancy slogan and put it on it to walk around in a group and, nah, we just get out there and do it. You know what I mean? We just get out there and do it. That's it. Had we not been there, because we ended up taking the two little dudes home. You know what I mean? We finally asked them, man, y'all waiting on somebody? Nah, took them home. That whole situation, you know what I'm saying, smooth. But what we didn't have to worry about was hearing some crazy stuff on the news about, you know, some kid that got hit or 4-5 kids that got hit. Or y'all done just let them out there and something happen because once again, we know what's going on with these youth. They have nothing to do. So at this point, hell, let's fight, let's stab, let's shoot each other. Now ain't nobody telling them stop stabbing and shooting each other for real. But yes, they are. Let me rephrase that. People are telling them stop stabbing and shooting. But they ain't got nothing else better to do. So are we going to show them something better or are we just going to tell them, don't do this, but I don't know what you should go do? It doesn't, none of that makes sense. You know what I mean? None of it. So adults, can we start adulting just a little bit? Because respect to all of the parents that came and picked their kids up, picked their children up in a timely fashion, in a timely manner, because that's what we need. I like having these conversations because we do go back and forth about, you know, them kids didn't have parents or this, that, and the third. Even when we was down there interviewing the youth, so many stories of you know, kids that's going through just a lot. The young brother who lost his mother at 6 years old, his 14-year-old brother raised him as long as he could, and then an auntie stepped in. But he didn't have a mother or a father. He's 22 now, counseling youth at the YMCA. How did he get this far? He said because he had mentors and older people schooling him and letting him know that it'll be okay, little brother. Just work on this, work on that, do this, do that, and actually helping them get to the next level, opposed to just, you know, like most organizations, I'm going to sign you up for something so I can get paid, and then, you know, it don't matter what happened to you after that, as far as they concerned. No, he didn't go through that. Even the young lady who was in the interview with the two young ladies that I showed at the beginning of this, who was talking about being in foster care all her life. She 22. She done been in foster care, been abused, threw away, all kind of stuff. Like she said, y'all don't want me to get off into that. She living with that. But we got people that say, man, I ain't got nothing for them. I ain't got nothing for them. They hurting just like everybody else. Tired brother, what's going on, man? Checking in, man. You done been here every day. I appreciate you, brother. I really do appreciate you. So what do we do, y'all? You know what I mean? What do we do? Because I'm putting some of this out here to make sure we don't have to go through this summer. You know what I mean? We just had the incident that happened up at Jennings, so I was really expecting just a bunch of people to be on the news. Oh, this is gonna be bad. This is that. Because that's how they do. You know, they wait. When a kid do something, then they say, it's finna get bad. These kids finna. And I was waiting on that. You know what I mean? I was waiting on that. Because that's what they said all last summer. They just clowning, they this, they that. Then what happened? What happened when summer was over? And we really ain't been hearing nothing about it, other than a couple of situations that's happened at school. But, I mean, we saying fight. It ain't no rules in fighting. So at least in a fight, you might could recover. Even if it's a horrible fight. But at least nonetheless, it's a fight. So now we finna take the kids fighting, like we just gonna take everything away from them, right? We taking everything away from them. And I ain't saying fighting is right, but I'm saying at least they ain't shooting. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into another clip, y'all. I got to step out real fast. I appreciate everybody that's here. It's 15 of y'all here. I would like all 15 of y'all still here when I come back. You know what I mean? But this is a clip right here of, you know, me and the voice of Cam just talking about that situation. You know, we do debriefings, and I know I don't never let nobody hear, you know, our debriefs. But this is one of, you know what I mean, our debriefs. And since he put it on camera, I'm going to go ahead and play that for y'all. But hold fast. I'll be right back. Let me make sure y'all can hear this. Give me a hot second. I got a client in the lobby.
Battery, and I'm going to stick this son bitch right here, and we can just ride with the camera sitting right there.
Chill it, do it.
We got to worry about.
I got 24 joints on here.
That ain't going to last. That's probably 10, 12 minutes at the most.
Shit, well, for the time, man, we just gonna go.
I mean, you can rock with it for, you know, because we got to get the shit from back there, though. There's a light on top of that motherfucker. What you look for?
I ain't want that motherfucker like hard. Whack the shit out of it, too.
It's 2 different levels, 3 different levels, really. Yeah. Once you click it, it's a strobe light, too, though.
Oh, man, this look like the wrong video.
To go home, it was like no more order, and that was the fucked up part of all of that.
That wasn't even the right video, y'all. I don't know what y'all was just looking at.
Stay in the building at 30
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
That you made them leave early, because the flyer said 4 to 9. They got kicked out that motherfucker at 8:30.
Just looking at.
So
but
the
anyway,
party could have been over at 8:30. But had you told all of those kids within that time, man, go and call y'all rides so y'all rides could come, and this security guard that's on this high-powered bullshit stand out front and make sure everybody that come out the building get in the car with an adult that they know, that would have been a real love situation right there, man. But
a big plus too. I mean, we got a lot of respect from everybody, not just I mean, we don't need you to gain our respect, but like the thing is, at the end of the day, everybody always talking about the kids. The kids gotta have people they respect, and like, you know, we overheard them saying, why we gotta move? All right, they pushing us this way. You literally got kids sitting on the curb on Halls Ferry with cars coming down 35, 45, 50 miles per hour. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. I mean, I don't know who security it was, but to keep it 100, man, that was not cool, man. That was not the move. And everybody always gonna have some type of excuse for why they did what they did, but to push kids toward the street with moving cars, yeah, they old enough to cross the street, but like there's a lot of adults that have been killed right there crossing the street.
I mean, a lot of people don't pay attention coming through there. I mean, you have to understand it is a street. Now, we do ignorant shit in St. Louis, but you got to look at the overall. That's Halls Ferry. It is a main thoroughfare. You got 4 lanes of traffic with a center lane, and the speed limit is 40 already. So when the speed limit is 40, that means it's 70. And sometimes people gonna come through there doing 70, and they're not expecting somebody to be standing or playing in the street.
I'll be honest, I don't even know, like, with the Ambassador having such a big parking lot, what would have been the issue of them chilling on the parking lot until their rides safely came and picked them up? I mean, the layout of Ambassador, like, you have to come off the street. So they were in a safe zone, man, in a safe spot.
I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:51 p.m. right now. We dropped one little dude off in Ferguson, in Florissant. We dropped the other one off in Berkeley. Now, I don't know the time, but I'll knock that 50 minutes off for going to do all of that. That still put it at 10 o'clock. So had they done what they were supposed to do, most of those kids would have been up out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? Most of those kids would have been up out of there. To the point where 9 o'clock, everybody who ride ain't there go outside. We would have had a third of that group outside. And at that point, it would have just been way more manageable, because now if y'all closing and y'all want them away from the building, now we could have walked them to the parking lot. Like, all right, y'all, we finna go
stand over here. I don't know why they cut off. But that's what it was, though, y'all. You know what I mean? And then y'all heard Cam. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just what it was. You know what I mean? And like he said, why make that situation worse like that? You know what I mean? So for me, I mean, it's just like, I don't really know. I'm putting it out here because now I want parents to be careful. You know, ask those questions, because a lot of people throw it. You know, a lot of parents say they know what their kids do, and a lot of them do know what their kids be out here doing. A lot of them don't. But just start asking at this point more questions, because who's behind this? You know what I mean? Like, what do they have against our future? You know what I mean? Yeah, I know this generation up under me could be a mug from time to time. But who wasn't? You know what I mean? Who wasn't? From 93 to 95, yeah, I was terrible out here. But that was 93 to 95. It's 2024. If I was scored and threw away then and whatever, man, I wouldn't even be here right now with y'all today. So we don't know what they gonna turn out to be. But we can't just shit on them, y'all. Cause I ain't seen really one down there yet that I can honestly say, oh, that little nigga ain't nothing. All of them have been about something. All of them willing to open up and talk. All of them say what they doing, and all of them seem to be doing something great. So why we can't just embrace that generation, y'all, and help them? Why we can't find out what they need? What's wrong with creating something for them that's better than that community center? Because that wasn't it. You couldn't pay me like you pay the local news to get on here and lie. Oh, yeah, it's going good. Yeah, it's going real well. It's no. It ain't going good. Because y'all can do better than that. You telling these kids go to the history museum, go visit a museum, go to the zoo, go like, okay, if they went. Now I went to the history museum, I done went to the zoo, I done went to the science center, I done went everywhere. Why I'm gonna go after this? And I'm saying this as a 12-year-old. Why I'm gonna go after this? So when we talking about 18, 20, that's what you telling them to go? That's what you got for them? Because those was like the young lady said, 15 to 18, and y'all sitting them out on the street. Who chose to make that decision and why? Was it somebody that didn't have any children? Or was it somebody that wanted to see something happen? Somebody that thought something was going to happen? Once again, shout out to all of the men who was out there that day that said, I don't know what the hell going on, but these kids going to make it home safe. Period. Because that's what we need to do. I'm going to stay on top of them. You know what I mean? And we got a nice little crew set up. So this summer, we're going to be on the watch too. We're going to be paying a whole lot of attention. Last year, yeah, we kind of let it just go. Because we was like, man, watch this. Just let it play out real quick. Let's see where that's going to go. But we was calling all of these shots down, man. That's going to end up doing this if it keep going like that. And that's exactly what happened. Some of those things, yeah, y'all, we was rolling. So we'll be able to show it. But we not going to tolerate what we tolerated last year. Shout out Miss Twyla Fleming checking in from FCAR. Let me guess. Arkansas FC. I don't know. FC. You got to help me out on that one. Fort Collins, Arkansas. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a Fort Collins, Arkansas. Let me let that go. Welcome, Twyla. Appreciate you for chiming in. But what we going to do, though, y'all? You know what I'm saying? What we going to do? This summer, we got to be on point. You know, for all of the men that's ready to stand up, let's stand up. Let's get behind some of these people, y'all. You know what I mean? Let's get behind some of these people. Especially when they got things that can be beneficial. Some things we just got to take and love, especially if it was created. Sankofa, Training and Mentoring Center, right there on Mimica. Get up there, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Get up there. Take them young men up there to learn something. Let them get a trade. And young men, I'm encouraging y'all to step on out. Do something. You know what I mean? Do something. Holler at me. I got a lot of ideas, man. I put you little guys on some content creation and put a whole lot of money in your pocket. Come holler at me. We got to do something, though, y'all. We can't just keep letting it go the way that it go. And I'm talking to the community right here because city government, they don't care. This will go in one ear and right out the other. They sat and watched it. They saw it. They understood what happened, too. But when they playing in that game, they don't see nothing. So with that, y'all, we're going to get ready to wrap it up. I appreciate everybody staying. Like I said, we're going to run through situations. And the goal is to get the community input. You know, I know during these lives we have a lot of people on here You know what I mean? And the majority of them from St. Louis. You just know we get the stats. You click in, we get the stats. You know what I mean? I'm going to know if you was a man or woman. I'm going to know where you was at. I'm going to know all of that. So I know who watching. You know what I'm saying? I know it's out there. Comment though, y'all. Say something. Speak on it. Unless everybody that's watching is somebody who you just watching so you can try to work against it. But at this point, we've built enough to where it'll be a little resistance. You know what I'm saying? Because we tired of it. We can't keep tolerating what's happening, period. Because when it go all the way down, we down there. Because they taking everybody down. Everybody going. We can't allow that. We can't allow it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I don't think I got nothing else on here for y'all. No, I hit everything. Shout out to Karina. Those are those two sisters' names too, man. Coriana and Karina. Both of them are spelt almost the same. So I hope I said them right. Coriana and Karina. But shout out to them sisters, man, for, stepping up and deciding to go to the service and just do something. Because I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have knew that had I not spoke with them. Because I didn't know them. You know what I mean? I could have rolled past them, not know them or none of that. But like I said, we was down there interviewing the kids, so it was what it was. But what if we didn't do that? What if we didn't interview those children? We wouldn't have knew what was what. The news telling us one thing, but if we was really paying attention, then we see what it really is. What if law enforcement, with their tactics, would have spooked those girls or scared them enough to where they did something where law enforcement felt like, gotcha, we got you. They would have just ruined the futures of those two sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't have been able to do what they needed to do, with a record, a blemish on their record or whatever. So that's what I'm saying right there. What's up, Emily? I support what you're saying. I appreciate you. Living with Purpose on North Broadway does outreach. Let me see what this say right here. Does outreach on North City as well as North City and Baden. That's what's up. I support everybody who do work in the community too. You know what I mean? So, Lene, holler at me. You know what I mean? If you got something that, you need assistance on or something that you trying to push or get out there for the youth or just something that you trying to achieve, because we don't really support in the city, y'all. People say, they support. There don't be a lot of support. You know what I mean? It just be somebody that want to get up in your business to find out what you're doing to see if they can either stop it or steal it from you. There's no real support. But I support people. You know what I mean? So, holler at me. If you need some outreach insight. But with that, y'all, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Shouts to them two sisters for doing what they doing. Shouts to all of those beautiful youngsters that's making it happen, man. Like I said, they starting magazines, they doing some of everything. And I'm not gonna hate on them. And I'm gonna make sure the ones that's hating on them fall on their face for trying to hate on them. That's why I told the one officer in the very first live, like, man, what if y'all had kids and going through this? Because, see, they would think, and if you go back and just trip off the officer, like, you patrolling North City, but he made that statement that, I come down in the city, but you working in the city, but you come down here to hang out every now and then. You don't know what's going on down here, Mike. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on down here. But, yeah, y'all. Lene, one more time. I want to work on a community art project in collaboration with you. We can do that. I've worked on art projects before. Kind of ashamed to say it, but I was part of the project with all of them murals that's on page, all them vacant buildings with the murals on them. Yeah. Shame. Because y'all see what it looked like now. You know what I mean? And it was like, even when I was in the middle of that BS was just a money game, man. People making shit look good so they can try to say they doing something, but once you can't get paid for it, do you continue to do it? Do you? Because I left them organizations and nobody's giving me $1, but that don't stop me from getting out here doing what I do every day. I'm not pressing a check. We've lost Street Talk team members because they was chasing them organizational checks. Sat around for a year and a half to learn how to go do that stuff, to run off and go do it. But that's fine, because those type of places will not thrive. You know what I mean? They will not thrive. When you're strictly about numbers for dollars, you will not thrive. Why? Because eventually you won't be able to get your numbers. You know what I'm saying? But if you out here for the genuineness of this, then you don't have to worry about none of that. Everything will work itself out. You know what I mean? But we're going to get off into that, because we're going to talk about that whole Street Talk team member thing and all that stuff too eventually. But yeah, Emily, we can do some work. You know what I mean? I know I said the art project, but I got trauma with that too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some trauma that I'm working myself through. I got to do my little therapy too, because I've been a part of so much in this city, and to know that some of it was as fake as it was, portraying itself to be so real. It's like, damn, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I got trauma. You know what I mean? Emily, you popping in at the last minute. I'm trying to get out of here, baby. It say, nothing to be ashamed about. I know it's a money grab. with the new art grants, too. We absolutely need to connect. I can tell you about my exploration as an artist, 2023, St. Louis Arts Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, I mean, Emily Day, holla at me. You know what I mean? Holla at me. Street Talk, it's either or. Street Talk 314 or Street Show 314 at Gmail. Hit me up. Send me an email, and we can sit down and do an interview. You know what I mean? I'll do a whole little piece on you, you know, about your art and all of that, because that's what I like doing, man. I like showcasing, y'all. You know, you know the page, you know, I do a lot of interviews, y'all. And the whole thing with those interviews, you know, other than, you know, our nieces and aunties, most of those interviews do be edited. I don't really like editing. That was the whole point of starting to do these lives, because I want to show these videos in their entirety. I want to show you exactly what was happening at those moments. Because had I cut that up into a piece once again, I would have had to cut the young lady, you know, I would have had to cut her true feelings out. Because, you know, she was using profanity, but she was expressing herself in a manner in which that's how they was treated. You didn't let the party end on time. Not only did you kick them out, you kicked them off the property. Would you do that to your child? You know what I mean? Like, would you do that to your child? No. So, I mean, it is what it is, y'all. But we're going to stay on top of it. This ain't it. It ain't over. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep it moving. So, on that note, y'all, study your rights and keep your cameras rolling.